What's up, guys? In today's video, we're going to discuss what is a home equity line of credit and how does a HELOC work. So a home equity line of credit is a strategy that many real estate investors use to leverage their current rental properties to buy more rental properties. Most people use a home equity line of credit. They pull the money out of their primary residence, and they buy a car or they buy something. But if you're an experienced real estate investor and you want your portfolio to grow, it's important that you understand what a home equity line of credit works so that you can grow your real estate portfolio without having to spend years saving up for the next down payment. You can leverage your current asset to buy more assets. So first things first, what is a home equity line of credit? What is a HELOC? So the definition here says a home equity line of credit is a second mortgage, usually with adjustable rates, so the payment changes per term of the loan. So generally, this is how I have a great example for you guys here. But basically, when you get a home equity line of credit, your monthly mortgage is going to increase based on the debt that you pull out of that property. So for example, I have a primary residence here. Let's say the value of the property is $300,000. Say you go to a real estate agent and she runs a comparable market analysis, a CMA, and she compares your subject property to homes sold in the past 6 months within half-a-mile radius in the same neighborhood with similar bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, age, and style. And let's say it comes back to $300,000 because a home is only worth what someone is willing to pay, and a CMA is the best way to get the value of your property. So let's say $300,000 is what it's worth. Let's say we owe $150,000 on it. That's how much we owe the bank. Now, the difference between the value and what you owe is called equity. So in this example, $300,000 minus $150,000 is $150,000 in equity. Now, most people think, okay, well, I have $150,000 in equity, and that's how much I can borrow out of my house. That's not true. When you go to a bank or a small credit union, a small credit union or a local bank, they have two options here. So number one, if it's a primary residence, you can pull 80 to 90% of the loan to value of the property. So here's a great example here. If you find a small local bank or a credit union who says, we'll give you 90% loan to value on your home, and the value is worth $300,000, 90% of $300,000 is $270,000, right? So what the bank's gonna do then is they're gonna subtract the $270,000 from what you owe, which is $150,000, and the difference between $270,000 and $150,000 is $120,000. Now, this is what we call usable equity. This is the amount of money you can actually pull out of your primary residence through a home equity line of credit or a HELOC. Investment properties are a little bit different. If you are able to find a small local bank or credit union who will give you a home equity line of credit on an investment property, they generally go for 70 to 80% loan to value. So you would take, if the bank says 70%, you would put 70% here of the value of your property, subtract it from what you owe, and then it'll show you your usable equity. Usually banks and credit unions do not do home equity line of credits on investment properties. You will have to do a cash out refinance, or you're gonna have to sell the property. In that case, you're gonna have to pay closing fees and selling fees, which is gonna deduct from your profit if you have any profit. But one thing that real estate investors do that helps them grow their real estate portfolio is from their primary residence. So let's say, yes, you go to a bank and they say you can get $120,000, pull it out of the property. So the reason real estate investors pull equity out of properties is, one, to grow their real estate portfolio, but two, equity is just like cash. And in reality, the truth is cash is trash. Cash buys less every single day because of inflation. So the government is printing the money supply. So every single day, that $150,000 in equity buys less every single day, and every single year by 3 to 5%, I believe, is the inflation rate as of today. So real estate investors know that. So what they do is they pull the equity out and then they buy more real estate. So with this $120,000. What most investors do is they go and they buy more rental properties. They use this $120,000 as a down payment on multiple properties. So let's say 40. Let's say they put $40,000 in this property as a down payment, closing costs, immediate repairs, cash reserves. $40,000 in this property, $40,000 in this property, and that takes up the entire $120,000 in equity that you just pulled out of your property. But now you don't just have one property, now you have 3 properties excluding your primary residence. But once you move out of this one, then you can rent this one out as a full rental. At that point, you have 4 rental properties. And if you ran your numbers right and you make sure that it's a good deal in terms of cash flow and your return on investment, you'll have 4 assets paying you every single month in passive income or cash flow. And then what you would want to do, you can move out of this one, buy another primary residence. And if you're able to get equity in the property, let's say you find a motivated seller due to death, bankruptcy, marriage, divorce, employment, loss of employment, and you're able to get the property, say the property is worth $100,000 just for easy math, but you're able to get it for $70,000, that's $30,000 in equity right there. Now you go through the process again, you find a bank, if it's a primary residence, find a small local bank or credit union, see who will quote the highest on your property and give you the highest loan to value, and then you can pull equity out of that and buy another property. And at the same time, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 rental properties, cash flowing, appreciating in value, the principal being paid down from your tenant. So a home equity line of credit is a great way to grow your real estate portfolio. And most real estate investors use this strategy. All my millionaire mentors use this strategy of buying a primary residence and pulling the equity out. If it's an investment property, you can do a cash out refinance, but it is a little bit different. Also, a home equity line of credit is the cheapest money that you can borrow. So a home equity line of credit, generally the interest rate on a home equity line of credit is 3 to 7%, which is the cheapest amount of money you can generally borrow at. Because as we know, hard money can be 10+%, private money can be 10+%. So a home equity line of credit, with it being the cheapest money to borrow, is the #1 strategy for most real estate investors to grow their real estate portfolio. So that's how a home equity line of credit works, and that's how a HELOC, the process works. If you like the video, make sure to like and comment and subscribe for more content like this on real estate, business, and personal finance. And I'll see you in the next video.